Owner Brent Harris can help. Shower tile, tub surrounds, even backsplashes. Give them a call today at 817-641-9444. The Floor Store. They got you covered.
Let's be honest. Wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. If you carry a wheelchair in your car to take care of a loved one, you know how hard it is getting that clunky, old-style wheelchair in and out of your car. Introducing the Feather Chair Wheelchair. At 13 pounds, it's the world's lightest wheelchair. It folds in seconds and fits neatly in your trunk, backseat, or closet, so you can take it everywhere. And it's only available right here. Order yours today and get a free wheelchair case, a $50 value, yours free. The Feather Chair. The world's lightest wheelchair is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. That's 800-823-5826.
When you're hungry for tender brisket or some delicious homemade cobbler, then look no further than Leach Brothers Barbecue, located at 1106 East Henderson, Cleburne, Texas. Leach Brothers has been family owned and operated since 1950. Take it from me, Taco Joe Orwinski. Todd and his family have been filling my belly breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a long time. Heck, I even have my own booth, open Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Come see them for dine-in, carry-out, and all your catering needs.
The voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.
We got all kinds of people already jumping on live. And if y'all aren't watching on camera, we have a special star in the room today. All right, we have a star in the room. We're going to get to introductions here in just a second. And no, the star aren't the two old guys sitting to my right and left, okay? It's the dude sitting right in the middle. We got starting running back on a superstar team. We'll get to that in a second. Guys, welcome to After the Whistle playoff edition. Last week of the regular season. I've got my playoff paper here. We were all just discussing it before the show started, and we all agree that once again we're going to be able to tear this thing up here at the end of this week. But man, a lot of things changed. Some of the things didn't change. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. And of course, special guest in the house. I do want to take just a moment, though, to kind of talk about just a couple of things, some things that have transpired that I've really been thinking about over the past week or so. And so I want to talk to all the young athletes and maybe even cheerleaders that are listening to the show right now. Maybe you're in the car with your parents, you just got picked up from school. Hopefully you're not driving, but if you are driving, hey, great driving lesson for you right now. Are you already driving?
No.
Oh, not yet? Oh, okay, gotcha. I want to talk to all you guys there for just a second, because I know sometimes when we have the show, when I do my Mike's picks, the way picks works, you got to pick some teams to win and some teams to lose. And I am A-okay with taking the heat for that. But for all you young athletes that are out there, I want you to know that your parents, everybody in this organization, in your personal organizations, whoever you play for, they are very proud of you. This youth organization, Northwest Texas, is very proud of you. Your parents are very proud of you. And me, I am super proud of you, even though I may not have met you, because let me tell you, to go out on a football field to either cheer or to play football, it doesn't matter what age level that you're at, that takes guts. That takes passion. That takes heart. And so sometimes I know when we make picks across the show and things of that nature, sometimes, I've heard that some kids get upset if their team doesn't get picked. That does not mean that anybody is disappointed in the way these young athletes are performing out there. That's the beauty of sports. There's winners and losers out there, and you learn from the losses just like you learn from the wins. So for all you kids that are listening, just want you to know After the Whistle loves each and every one of you guys, and we're proud of you. And that's why I am really, really glad that we got a star here on the show. Are you guys able to hear?
I can.
You can hear? You can't hear anything in yours? Interesting. Yeah, maybe you can grab those headphones there. We can hear you, though. I think we can hear you. Already technical difficulties. It wouldn't be a show without technical. Can you hear now? Okay, perfect. And just pull that mic a little close to you.
Gotcha.
So for all you parents that are there, shout out your kids. We've got all kinds of, I guess Cash is in the building. Is that your name, Cash?
Yeah.
We got people on here. Cash Money. We got all kinds of people throwing your name out here, man. I need an autograph before we leave today. Is what I need. All right, let's get to some introductions so we can get this show rolling. We're going to start here to my right. Introduce yourself. Tell us what you do for your organization. If you're coach, what team you coach. And we're going to save you for last. We're going to go here, and we're going to save cash money for last. Okay? Go ahead.
I'm Chris. I'm the parliamentarian on our executive board for Saginaw. I'm also the 9U head coach.
My name is Tim. I'm the president of Saginaw, assistant coach for the 8U Horned Frogs, the 8U Horned Frogs.
The 8U Horned Frogs. And the Horned Frogs himself. Tell us your name.
I'm Cash, and I'm the starting running back for the Horned Frogs.
Cash, how many touchdowns you scored this year? Do you know?
Almost about 5.
Almost 5 touchdowns this year. So we're right about 1 a game average, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your team's undefeated right now, huh?
Yep.
Are you having fun?
Yep.
That's all that matters. You gonna win the Super Bowl?
Obviously.
That is what I'm talking about right there. That is what I'm talking about right there. He is just calling it out right now. They're going to the Super Bowl to win the Super Bowl. Well, guys, thanks for joining us today. Let's talk a little bit about SYA, and then we already talked about this. We're going to get into the playoffs. We're going to talk about Mike's locks last week that once again almost went undefeated on my locks again last week. We got more picks this week. We got playoff standings this week. But first, we need to definitely recognize the great city of Saginaw. So how many kids do you guys have in the organization right now?
So we got about 400. That's football and cheer. We got 2 teams in every football age division except for 9U.
Wow, that's a lot of kids.
Oh, yeah.
How many board members you guys have?
We got 29.
29 board members.
Yes, sir.
I don't even know if that's enough, though, for 400 kids. So.
Oh, man, no, it definitely isn't.
So how's the year going this year overall for the organization, right? I mean, I know we've got your 8U team here that's doing great. We got 9U teams doing very well going to the playoffs. Seems like you guys, I believe in every division, you pretty much got a playoff team right now, pretty close. We've got a lot of them. How's the season going so far?
It's going pretty good. Like you said, we got a lot of teams. Some teams are ranked really high, and then we got some that are on the bubble for making the playoffs, but it's looking like we'll have a playoff team in every age group.
Man, that's awesome to hear. So is there anything special? Don't have to let the cat out of the bag. But is there anything that's coming up for the parents? Have you all started talking about like 9-on-9, 7-on-7 yet? I think this league does 9-on-9 here. Is that something you guys are still going to, or do y'all do that in the spring, or do y'all know what you're going to do yet as far as that goes?
Some teams do it, but a lot go to like basketball, and then start getting ready for select baseball and stuff like that. So everybody kind of just goes on their own.
Mike Langford said, let's see who's drinking that haterade. Hey, Mike, you guys had a great win on Saturday. I mean, a great win on Saturday. No one's drinking haterade. Amy Dusky says the SYA board and parents are the absolute best. And then Laura Gonzalez says, hey, the Frogs 8 Tuesday in the building. I'm not sure, but shouting out to number 44. So we'll go with that. Number 21 on the SY. So we got a lot of Saginaw people on right now that are just throwing out there. Kennedale 12U, number 9, Jameson. That 12U Kennedale team is rolling right along undefeated right now, getting ready for the playoffs and going from there. So are you guys ready for the playoffs?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You ready for it to be here?
Oh, yeah. It's been a long time.
It's been what, July 15th?
Man,
15th?
feels like longer than that.
Long time.
We were out at the practice field yesterday and kind of had a little bit of chill. And for Texas to say a little bit of chill, like, I'm one of these guys, like I got long sleeves on today, even though it's 70 outside, because, you got to, with any time a big guy can break out a jacket and long sleeves, man, I'm like all about it. Right.
Yeah.
And so, but I felt that chill and it made me think all the way back to July when I know our board, I'm sure other boards were looking at heat indexes. Like, are we going to get to practice today? And I felt like it was just yesterday. And then I was like, wow. We're almost to Thanksgiving. We're almost to playoffs. We're almost to Super Bowl, and football season is about to put a bow on it in 3 weeks now, 4 weeks, besides the All-Star game that'll happen in December. But football season is coming to an end. So that's crazy. That is absolute crazy. You guys ready to talk playoffs?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We just gonna get it. He's ready. He's like, dude, let's go. Like, let's talk about playoffs here. All right, let me review last week's Mike's Locks and go ahead and get the haterade out. 5U, check, got it right. 6U got both games right. 8U got it right, and was right on the blowout. Everybody gave me a lot of hate on that, and the Elks and 8U blew out Midlothian Martinet. There were some questionable refereeing stuff there. You know, after the whistle, we always talk about, you know, what happened in the game, and there was definitely some questionable calls there refereeing, but I don't know that mattered too much in the score because they laid a whipping on them. Game of the week really was 9U. We had the undefeated Midlo team also against the undefeated Elks team. I said that Midlo team would score 30 on them. They scored 28. They won the game in overtime, if I understand correctly. I didn't get to make it out to that game because we were wrapping up out at our field to secure first place down. But that was a battle in a fight that went on out there. 10U called that one with the blowout. 8U, I got the Kennedale game right, and then mispicked on my own game on the Elks game. Shout out to the 12U Raiders team of the Burleson Nolan team. Man, that team looks solid. They that's one of those teams that after seeing them, I don't know anybody wants to play that team. Like that's what's really cool. You know, we talked about it last week, and you guys have been around Northwest, so I want to get your feedback on here because you're going, you know, no stones unturned. So I got to say what you're doing tonight. I hope you're good with that. Okay. So you're going to scrimmage a team in another organization known as the Cats of Bear of Aledo, and we'll just leave it at that. But there's been a lot to do about the competition in, you know, talking about it. But all I can tell you is this: going into the end of the season, I don't know that I've ever seen it where the playoffs aren't decided by the last week and there's so many teams fighting and anybody can beat anybody.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I know you guys have been around this organization a while. It's our first time inside the organization. Talk to me about how this competition and playoff competition has ratcheted up with the teams that have joined, but also with what you guys already had. Because, I mean, what I love about this, guys, and I'm going to let you answer it, but I just, when I look at this, the diversity of teams in every age group is amazing to me. And to me, with a young athlete playing, that's what you want.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I don't want to play the same couple of teams over and over. I want to play the best that I can play. Look, my team's struggling in 12U. I wouldn't change it for the world. We've played a great Kennedale team that athletes everywhere, well coached. A great Raiders team, both of them, well coached, athletes everywhere. A really good Granbury team. Any team that we've gone up against and played, I wouldn't change it for the world. Like I don't care so much about winning the game because I know how much better my son's going to be because of the competition. So talk to me about the competition here in Northwest, if anybody has any questions about it.
Man, the competition is definitely what it is on paper as it is on game days. Like you just said it. We don't know who's in the playoffs yet.
No.
You could blink and your playoff chances right out the window starting next Monday.
Oh, yeah.
As to where you go on that other side of town where, you know, supposedly they got all the competition. They know who's in the playoffs. They know who's in the Super Bowl. That's why we're going to scrimmage them tonight.
Well, yeah, and Eric says on here, second round playoff game of BBGC versus Lake Worth for the rights to go to the Super Bowl will be a classic. I'm assuming he's talking about 10U.
Oh yeah.
I was at that game when they played, and it was
think about that.
Game.
Yeah, the semifinals. If we're just skipping over the first round, semifinals is going to be crazy games,
dude.
Like,
it's
absolutely all across the board too.
Yeah.
Like not just. There is some dominance in some of these ages, but those semifinal games are going to be.
Oh my God. It's one of those things that when you really break down what's going to happen in the semifinal and even the first round games, y'all, I'm looking at some of these first round games going, man, I don't know that I would want to play a 7 or an 8 seed. I don't know. I don't know that I would. You better bring your sack lunch, right? It's one of those things that you can't look past any team, and that's healthy. And that's what really excites me for this organization for going forward. And shout out to the executive board and all the town reps that are running the organization, as far as getting things healthy. And honestly, a lot of this stuff was put together, with some towns joining in the last minute to pull off. I know we've had some people gripe about this and gripe about that, but the reality of it is a great football season is about to wrap up. We're going to have Super Bowl champions, and those champions are going to be legit Super Bowl champs, right? And that was pulled off with just a few months of planning. I cannot wait till next year. I'm not trying to fast forward past this Super Bowl, but my God, next year, that's going to be crazy what happens in this league.
Yeah, this league is definitely the rec league to be in.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure. And I was telling you guys, and just kind of a little shout out here. So my company Versus is trying to put together a football tournament in December for rec leagues. And what we're hoping is some of these Super Bowl teams that are rec leagues will come in and play from all these areas. We're going to invite them around here. And now people can just kind of put their money where their mouth is, right? Let's show up and play. Yeah. Let's just show up and play.
And the 50.
And see he's shaking his head. He's like, let's go. You're ready, aren't you?
Yeah.
Cash money is ready. Like when you score, do you do this?
No, sometimes.
If you guys don't know, I made the money symbol in my hand. If you're not watching, I don't do that and get in trouble. But if you do that, I want a picture of it, and I'm gonna put it up here on the wall so that when people come in. So now, if coach tells you don't do that, and don't get a flag. I don't know how the rest feel about that, but I think that would be pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Or what was it? The Sharpie that got pulled out by Terrell.
Yes. Oh yeah,
that'd be good. All right, let's do it. Playoff standings. We're gonna go into picks. We got a lot to talk about. We are going to start in the 5U division. Work our way down. We'll get through as much as we can before the break. I want you guys' feedback on this. And then all you guys online, I want to know what you're predicting as well. Remember, whatever you put out online is there. Going through the comments here, we've got all kinds of people that are hiring out, are shouting out people. We've got Go Longhorns from Jacob. Let's Go Frogs, number 55. Laura says, sorry, this is a dumb autocorrect. Number 1, SYA Gators. Frogs all day, number 3, BAM. We've got SYA 5U Cowboys. How about that 10U Lake Worth versus RYA? I'm pretty sure I called that game. And then we got SYA Cowboys balling out this year, 8-0. Got the Longhorns. Congratulations, Lake Worth 10U. Cody has a very respectable team over there, and that is a great team over there. We've got the MILEK 8U Horned Frogs. We've got Cowboys, Go Longhorns. We got a lot of Saginaw people on here. Where are the rest of you folks at, man? Like Saginaw is taking over the chat today. Y'all come in full force today. That's what I'm talking about here. Oh, there we go. We got a Waxahachie. I'm waiting on Phelp, and I'm waiting on Ricky to get on here. I don't know where they're at yet. We got Waxahachie 6U being shout out here. We got Go Longhorns number 20 from Jessica on there, but I haven't seen a Ricky sighting yet, and I haven't seen a Phelps sighting yet on here.
Phelps said something very early.
Did he say something early, Phelps? Are you on here early? Shout out to those guys for taking care of business too this weekend. That's a team that in the 12U division they're an 8 seed right now. I don't know that I want to play them.
Who's that, Phelps?
Yeah.
Hey, Phelps gonna have his boys ready when it's time to go. I gotta tip my ass.
Let me tell you, man. We'll get to 12U in a second, but if they come in at that 8 seed, and I know Granbury's had a pretty good year, but I don't know that I want to play that team. That's not a door that I'm gonna go knocking on right now. You know what I mean? That's just Darren said. Duran says that Ricky is always late. You're right. Elk is on you. Justin Whitehead, Elks 8U is on. Dude, I'm telling you that Elks 8U team, I said it earlier, dominated Midlothian. That's a team you don't want to play. I know you guys are 8U here. We talked about it beforehand.
Ask Cash. You want to play the Elks?
Yeah, I got a hesitation.
Yeah.
To me, I hope that's a Super Bowl matchup because I think that'd be two great teams right now. That would probably be a second round matchup. Could you imagine a second round matchup with you guys and the Elks and 8U, and then 10U has Lake Worth and the Elks? Can you imagine second round matchups like that to go to the? That's stupid crazy.
All the tickets would be sold that day.
Like that's crazy. They might have to like put that in a really big place to have all the tickets sold on that way. Nick says LYSA Lions are in here. Regardless, Aria says, Mike, I don't like how you just graze over how good the Lake Worth 10U team is. I did not graze. I give Lake Worth shout outs every single week on their 10U team. They are the second best team in 10U.
Oh yeah, Carlos got them kids ready.
They're ready to play, and you know what? They will have their chance to prove that they're the best.
Yes.
Same with the Waxahachie Langford team. I base all my stuff off of schedules and things of that nature. My personal belief is Barrett is the best team there, followed by Cody, followed by Langford right now. That is just my opinion of where. But guess what? That's why they're going to get to play the games. That's why they're going to play. And you know what? If it winds up being a Waxahachie versus Cody in the Super Bowl, that's going to be a great Super Bowl. If it winds up being Barrett versus Waxahachie, that's going to be a great Super Bowl. And I'm not trying to discount teams 5, 6, 7, and 8 and 10U, but those teams have been handled pretty well by these other teams. Oh, yeah. And so I believe that people are going to have their chance to go out and prove themselves. And that's what I absolutely love about this league. All right, 5U. See, I just wasted like 6 minutes talking about it. See what they do to me on here? Like, it's especially Aria. She always comes at me on here. I'm going to have her come host a playoff show with me and go on in here. LYSA Lions are here. We've got all kinds of people on here. Trying to Gators versus the Elks also. Yep, don't sleep on the Raider 5U team. They'll be ready for any team. Absolutely. I mean, that's a team that's we're about to talk about here. So let's start with that. 5U division. First place, Saginaw Dusky, 8-0. Second place, Waxahachie Cooper, 8-0. We got Kennedale Mustafa in third, R.Y. Schultz in fourth, Saginaw Vigari in fifth, Midlothian Garrick in sixth, Ferris is in seventh, and Burleson Cooper is in eighth. I believe that these are pretty well locked down when I was looking at this earlier. And by the way, for any of you guys that message me and say, wait, that's not right, this is what officially came from Jennifer from the league. It is not the final playoff schedule. That will be decided October 30th. Is that right?
Yeah,
This Sunday. So this Sunday, October the 30th, there will be a meeting about the playoffs. And so anything that could be a little questionable or maybe not right, all the town reps will be in a room with the executive board, and they will make sure that the right teams are in there. And the right teams that have won the right to play in the playoffs will be there. There could be some coin flips. That's always interesting, right? There's several divisions that there could be some coin flips in there that could happen. So, in 5U, I don't know that anybody's going to beat that Dusky or that Cooper team.
Oh, the Dusky Cowboys are the truth over there. Hey, I'll tell you one thing, that Midlothian 5U, that's the boogeyman.
The Garrick?
Yeah, I would not want to play them any round, whatsoever, because I've watched them play twice at Saginaw, and they're just one play away from winning it.
Yeah, that is a team. So that is a team that when I looked at stuff and just kind of seen things on here, when I pulled up their schedule, there's not a team that now Cooper handled them pretty well when they played them the first game of the year, but outside of that, they've got talent and
they got surprising talent. When you see them,
they hung with Dusky when they played. Now it was like I think 31 to 20 something. Trying to look here, 31 to 41 to 32 or something. Let me see here.
It wasn't a blowout.
Yeah, it was 41-32. So you're talking about a turnover, anything like that, and it's a different game. That is a team in the 6th seed. So if we looked at the playoff division in this 5U, 1-8, we got Cooper, Dusky. That Cooper team is a salty little team. Right. I don't think they have what it takes to compete with Dusky. I think if Cooper jumped in the 7th seed could jump in the 6th seed, I think that they could hang with the Kennedale for 3 versus 6, but I just don't see them getting up that high. Yeah. But the reality of it is that when you look at this breakdown, you've got Saginaw Dusky versus Cooper. You got Waxahachie Cooper versus Ferris Cox. And then the fun really starts. You got Kennedale Mustafa, who's 6-2, would play that Garrick team. And if I have to pick that game right now,
I would want to see that game. Yeah,
man, because that's worth the price of admission.
Hey, because I've talked to those Midlothian coaches. I've seen them at my field twice. Hats off to those guys over there. Absolutely class acts over there, that 5U staff. So Midlothian, got my respect over there.
Yeah, I love the Midlothian team, Kerry and Ricky and all those guys over there. And that whole board, they got a massive board over there that works really hard, just like all these leagues do. But that Garrick team, I agree with you. Like that, if I'm Kennedale, I don't want to play them. Now, Kennedale's salty too.
Oh, yeah.
They're salty. I mean, that's a team only giving up 14 points a game, but of all the first round playoff games, that'd be the one I want to see.
And Midlothian would be the one I wouldn't want to play the first.
Yeah,
round.
that would be the game that I want to see. And we'll talk about our picks coming up in the next segment if we can kind of get it on there as far as that goes. But yeah, that would be the game. And I believe Burleson Cooper is playing that Garrick team this weekend. So Cooper, who was on here, they could make a statement real quick this weekend. They could make a statement against that Garrick team. They really could. All right, moving on to 6U. I told you time flies around fun. We got like 3 minutes and we're about to have to take a quick break.
That one's in the bag.
6U's done.
Yeah, that one's in the bag.
There's no.
Everybody else is going to compete against each other. But whoever's got to run through that number one.
Here's what's crazy about 6U, right? You got Waxahachie Granger 8-0, 0 points scored against again this week. Then you have Ferris King 7-1, 11.5 points. Red Oak Young 6-2, 7 points. RYA Babin 5-2, 7 3/4 points. Red Oak Johnson 5-2, 10 points. Kennedale Kelly 12 points. Burleson Johnson 16 points. Waxahachie Boreas 16 points at 4-3 coming in the end. I agree with you. This is a one-horse race to the Super Bowl, but who's going to play them?
It'll have to be that number 2 seed. I honestly don't know. That number 1 is just
I kind of
that 1 seed's out there throwing 25-yard passes at 6U.
That's true. Like that's an interesting dynamic in 6U, which, man, I can't wait to see those guys when they get a little bit older. But for me, the team that I kind of like a little bit, I like Red Oak Young. I like them.
Who's that? BJ team?
Yeah, I like those guys. I mean, they're only giving up 7 points a game. And they played Ferris King the first game of the season, and they lost 12-0. But a 12-0 game, to me, that's a game that can
go either way.
Either way. I would like to see that matchup. I really would. In the playoffs, I would like to see that matchup because I think Young, and I think some of these other teams can do well. I don't think anybody's competing with Granger, but I really feel like that Red Oak Young team, I would not put it past those guys to make it to the Super Bowl. I really wouldn't.
BJ always have his kids ready over there. That's for sure.
Yeah. And Eric says they're a physical 6U Red Oak team. And Phelps says 6U is locked.
Hey, Phelps, I'm with you on that.
Well, I don't think anybody's denying that. I mean, that's for sure. Katie Adams says 5U is so hard to coach. My 4-year-old did nothing but try and dodge punches. Well, hopefully nobody is punching out there. And if so, hopefully the refs took care of it, going from there. But yes, 5U, I've always said, so, I'm the 12U coach this year, and there's absolutely no way that I'm coaching.
Man, I'm glad we're done with that.
After that. And I've got a little kid that could probably play flag, but I'm like, yeah, let me wait till they put some pads on, and go from there. All right, that's 6U, and we're going to break. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 divisions to get through, and we've got the Mike's Locks to get through. Guys, I want to hear your predictions. I'm sorry I haven't got a whole lot to the comments, but we're going to get to those comments. When we come back, we're going to do 7U, 8U, 9U, 10U, 12U. We're going to do Mike's Locks. We're going to do absolutely kind of talk about how the playoff picture can be shaken up, and we are going to get ready for the last week of the season, and really playoff football is now.
It was 2 weeks ago. Honestly.
Yeah, it's Phelps said that he started playoff football 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was definitely 2 weeks ago.
We're in the playoffs right now. It's just you lose, you're going home. That's where we're at. All right, guys, we'll be right back.
Hey, travelers. Do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1820. 855-325-1820. That's 855-325-1820.
Hey, there's something you forgot to do. It sure is hot. Are you sweating like a dog? Wait, what? Dogs don't sweat. Oh no, you forgot to get your window tinted. Whether it's the kitchen window that sits in the sun for the hottest part of the day, or you just got new wheels, call Sharp Window Tinting in Burleson. 817-615-9379, or look them up on the web, sharpwindowtint.com.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
You're listening to Joco Community Radio.
All right, people already commenting on here. People keep saying I'm sleeping on Lake Worth. I mean,
all he's talking about is Lake Worth since we got in here. So
I
he
mean,
ain't sleeping on y'all.
they didn't they lose that game to the Elks? I didn't miss that, right? Okay, I'm just making sure. I got to give the Elks props here. All right. RYA, Greg says RYA 8U giving a shout out to the 8U Frogs. All right, let me get through this advertisement here so we can continue talking football. Joco Community Radio is proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and is on the live 24/7 TuneIn Radio Network. Tune in to joco.com to find all the ways to listen, watch, and you can go download the station app for free on Android and Apple devices. Just search Joco Radio and more in your store. This episode is brought to you by Patriot Claims, making your insurance work for you. Reach out to your Texas sales rep at 844-TEXT-HAIL. And it's also brought to you by Versus Sports Apparel, uniforms, equipment. If you guys need any type of sporting needs, uniforms, apparel, things of that nature, reach out to us, 817-308-6064 or vsportswear.com. All right, enough of the advertisements. It's football talk. 7U.
Ooh.
First place, the Elks and Dixon team. They're 8-0. That's a really good team. I get to see them play almost every week. They've had a couple of close games. There's no doubt about it. Then you got Saginaw Baker at 7-1, RYA Pinkston at 7-1, Waxahachie Patterson 6-2, Ferris DeCorte 5-3, Burleson Ross 4-4, Kennedale Kelly 4-4, Midlothian Langston at 3-5. This division is pretty much locked up in the playoffs. We could have some, 5, 6, and 7 flip around, but this is pretty much what it's going to be. This is the one division that's pretty locked in with seedings and stuff from there. My opinion on the 7U division, it is definitely a 3-team race between the Elks, Baker, and RYA. So not saying those other teams, not saying that Patterson is getting slept on with Waxahachie. I just, that Elks-Dixon team is very physical. That Saginaw Baker team is actually giving up less points than anybody in the league right now. They're only giving up 3 points per game and 3.75 points per game. So defense wins championships. RYA is giving up 5.5 and Dixon's giving up 6. So for me, this is one of those divisions that I believe Dixon's going to take it home and win the Super Bowl. But would it shock me if they didn't? Not at all. To me, this is the most this is the closest division in all the leagues, in my opinion, as far as from top to bottom. I believe that in every division, you look in 5U, Saginaw Dusky, team to beat. 6U, Granger, team to beat. When we get down to these others, we'll talk about those. But I think 7U is the most complete division that a 1 versus 8, I don't think loses, but a 1 versus 4 very well could lose in this division. They're very tight-knit. Points per game is right there with each other. every game that I've seen played in this division is pretty much been close. There hasn't been just these ton just blowouts and go from there. So we'll talk about the games to pick this weekend. Any thoughts on 7U? You guys get to watch much 7U at all?
That stage division where the semifinals are going to be fun.
Yeah,
that's going to be the make or break in those semifinal games. But 7U Gators, Gator done.
Yeah,
I got them.
Got the Gators.
That would be a really interesting game. Have they played RYA yet this year? RYA Pinkston? And
that's the one. E called and said Saginaw ain't welcome back to RYA anymore.
Oh, E, what is up with that? What is up with that?
I had to do it, E.
What is up with that? Yeah, no, you're right. I remember that game. That would be a fun little but that's going to be a heck of a second round matchup if the standings stay the way they are, right? That's going to be just a fun matchup to be able to watch.
Wasn't that Baker and Dixon matchup a 6-point game?
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
And some kids showed up without the right equipment, so I want to see them full staff against each other.
I mean, here's the deal. And I say this to people, from things like equipment to refs and things of that nature. You got to play the game that day, and then there's going to be another game played. Mm-hmm. And I'm with you. I can't wait to see the other games played because there's several teams. And as we kind of start working our way down here, and matter of fact, and we'll talk about it in this next division, we'll just get perfect segue. See, we work together. Perfect segue right there into 8U. There's some teams that have some early losses that are not the same team. Absolutely. So here's our 8U division. Whose team's number 1 in 8U?
Horned Frogs.
That's right. All right. We got Vigari number 1, RY at 7-0, RYA 2 at 7-1. Kennedale Bass 6-2, Ennis Sally at 5-3, Whitehead at 5-2 for the Burleson Elks. We got Midlothian Martinet 5-2, Red Oak Young, and then the Burleson 8U McClure at 3-4. So this division, my honest feeling on it is your team's division to lose.
Absolutely.
No pressure, but when I look around it, there should be no reason why you guys are not in the Super Bowl. The question is who's going to play you and what's going to give you guys the best matchup in the Super Bowl. And so here's what's interesting. So I'm going to give a shout out to the Elks Whitehead team because that is a team that, they had a really early on loss, kind of been working through some stuff. They've changed their offense up to fit the players that they have. And I was curious to see what would happen when they played that 5-1 Midlow Martinet team this weekend. And when I tell you it was domination, it was domination. It was not close. I'm curious to see what happens with them. And I'm curious to see what happens with RYA. I don't think RYA is close to you guys. No offense, Eric. Like you guys. I don't feel like they're close to you guys. What's going to take, and we kind of talked about this in this division when you came in, what's going to take to beat this SYA team is an actual team.
Absolutely.
You're not going to come out with one player and beat you guys. You're not going to be able to give one player the football and hope that kid runs all over the place and beats you guys. You guys are way too deep and way too talented to do that. It's going to take a team effort. So for me, I just don't know anybody has that to do that. And I'm not saying that because you guys are on the show. It would shock me if you guys get beat in the playoffs. It really would. If I had to put money on a team that could give you a run, if I'm betting, it would be that Elks Whitehead team. And once again, I use the word betting. Let me back that up real quick.
Yeah, you know that. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we do not bet on youth sports. Okay. We kid about that. We joke about that, but please do not be betting on youth sports. This is all for fun. And every single one of these kids work their butts off. Every kid, it doesn't matter. The reality of it is that wherever people finish in every division at the end of the year, as long as they've done their best, they've done what they could do. Thoughts on 8U? That's your division.
Man, that Red Oak team.
I know you were saying you like them.
That's a sleeper team. I know me, and BJ knows that's my dog. I wouldn't want to play him in the playoffs.
All right.
I want to see them play RYA again, rematch, run it back.
That was a close game.
3 onside kicks after halftime. RYA was losing. BJ fumbled the ball. He gave up 3 onsides and ended up losing that game, getting shut out after half.
As it says right now, that's a first-round matchup.
I want to see that again.
Yeah. Now Cody says crazy RYA 8U winning the Super Bowl and is a whole different team since that first game when the Frogs got lucky.
Cody, you ain't got no credibility anymore. You got beat 40-0 by Carlos. I love you, Cody.
Steve Cook says SY8UD has a amazing defense. Brandon says faith and 8YU are on that RYA. Cody says stand on that. Justin says don't be giving away our secrets. I'm not giving secrets away. I mean, if I'm sure, I hope people have film. If people don't have film, then I don't know what to say about that. Eric says it happens.
Now that ain't you. It's a shaky division down there for sure.
It is.
And the crazy thing is, it's always been like that.
Really?
I talk to Mike Hernandez every year. If you take us out of the equation, it can go anyway.
Yeah.
All the time.
So Chelsea says the Frogs were asleep on that game. And then Maxwell says, replying to Cody, Frogs gave y'all 2 extra possessions that game, and you started at OT with the ball. I love this. I love it. Richard says, dang, got him. This is awesome. Like this is great. Let me ask you, Cash Money. Who do you think the toughest team is that you've played this year?
I'll probably would be between RYA and Red Oak.
RYA and Red Oak.
There you go, Eric. He gave you your props.
Hey, that's good stuff. What made them tough?
Well, Red Oak is their speed.
Okay.
And RYA is like their what is it?
They have speed or they tough?
You don't even know because y'all was asleep that game.
Yeah.
Were you sleep in that game?
The whole team.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all must have gotten some serious trouble for that game right there, weren't you? Okay. All right. Good deal. Cody says rep RYA, at least Cash Money knows what's up.
Yeah, he gave you all y'all's props.
Now Steve Cook says, unfortunately, Kennedale's going to shut down RYA this weekend.
RYA.
Okay.
I don't know about that one. I've seen both those teams play. I don't know.
You don't know about that one?
Yeah.
That's the 8U, right?
That's 8U. Yeah. I mean, if that happens, Kennedale would jump up to the second seed, which would be a great thing for them to push toward the playoffs as far as that goes. But Holly's just putting laughing emojis out there. Going from there, Greg says we will see. Amy says, replying to Cody Barber, that game had all of us hype. Heck of a game, but go Frogs. And then we got Let's Go Wildcats, number 88. Eric says, Kennedale, stop it. Greg says, RY8U has something in store for Kennedale. This is great. Like, I again will stand on the fact that you guys, I think, will be playing that last week in the Super Bowl, unless, they are kids.
Absolutely.
And they come out a little flat. You never, what was it? Mike Tyson says, you never know what happens till you get punched, right?
Any given Saturday.
You let some team punch you in the mouth, and all of a sudden you start seeing some tears flow sometimes at this young age. And that's when you really know your coaching merit right there. Like, you got to bring them up and say, hey, you guys are better than this, and go from there. But yeah, 8U is going to be a fun weekend. All right, moving on to 9U. Man, time is flying. We haven't even got to the picks yet. Good gosh. All right, first place, Midlow Robinson, 8-0, 6 points against. Second place, BBGC Clark. Those two just played each other last week. Overtime game, 28-20. Robinson won, but they're 7-1, 5 points. Third is Kennedale Sheffield at 7-1. Fourth is Saginaw Bowling at 6-2. Fifth is Waxahachie Sedelios at 6-2. Sixth is RYA Slade at 4-4. Seventh is Granbury Westbrook at 3-5, and 8 is Burleson Carpenter at 3-5. To me, this is a 2-team race of Robinson and Clark. I hope they meet again in the Super Bowl. That is nothing against all the other teams playing in this, but that was a great football game. I didn't get to attend it, but we were getting text updates. I've got my friend Kerry that coaches on that team. Coach Dylan, who's my friend, who's also a board member for Burleson, the coaches, he's the head coach of the Clark team. And like, both of them were, Kerry would text me right after the game, and Dylan texted me right after the game about what's going on. And of course, we were at our field, and then we had a late game afterwards for our 12U. And man, I really like both of those teams in the 9U division. Last week, I picked against the Elks with Robinson. If I had to pick that game again, I would probably make the same pick, but I could see it being a one possession overtime thriller of a game. And when I just kind of look at these playoff teams like 7U and 9U, those are going to be barn burners, right? I think in 8U, when you get to that second and the third round of the playoffs, barn burner games that are going to be happening in there. Same thing with 10U, right? The second round of 10U, which we're about to talk about, is going to be barn burner games that are going to be inside of there. And that's just really good, healthy competition, right? That is just it. Once again, just watching this piece of paper and looking at it here, how it changed from last week to this week is great. And when I get through with this, I'll go through the notes that the league had on here. Danny says still sleeping on the Longhorns. I mean, I'm not sleeping on the Longhorns.
If I'm not mistaken, what'd y'all lose to Midlothian? What was the score?
12-10.
12-10. And what'd y'all lose to BBGC?
12-6.
That BBGC game, when I tell you, Mike, if you could have watched that game, because I got to DOD that game, it was 50 seconds left, 1st and goal. They were going in to win. And got stopped. So hats off to BBGC. That defense does
50 seconds left. Face mask my quarterback who went out. My second quarterback was already hurt.
But when I talk about
and they stopped us for punching in. They're a great team.
When I talk about a playoff game in midseason, that was it.
Well, and and that's the thing is you look at 9U, you guys, that bowling team which you coach. I mean, they're only, and we talked about this when you came in, they're only giving up 3 points a game.
Yeah.
That's technically the best. That's what's crazy. The 4th seed in 9U is the best defense in 9U on paper. 3 points a game.
And they've
how do you give up 3 points? We don't even kick out field goals.
And they've lost to the top 2 teams by less than 6 points.
The top team we lost on a kickoff return, and BBG we lost on an interception.
Yeah, and I can say this, like when I looked at the 9U, and we were talking about this when you came in, the loss for BBGC Clark to Midlow Robinson may be a blessing in disguise to get to the Super Bowl, because that puts them in the 2 seed. And if everything's shaked out like it's supposed to, they don't have to play the Longhorns in 9U. And the Longhorns play Robinson, which that's going to be a barn burner of a game. And Clark may get to skip Robinson. And I don't think Clark's scared of Robinson, just like I don't think you guys are scared of Robinson or Clark or Sheffield. But sometimes seeding matters.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? I mean, seeding matters when it comes to, you can see that in the NFL, seeding matters and matchups matter. I mean, we can go back to the NFL and the Cowboys and the Niners last year. I mean, that's just a terrible matchup for the Cowboys.
Yeah, if I beat a team by 2 points, I do not
you don't want to see them again. You don't want to see them in the semifinals. Give me them in the Super Bowl, and let's see what happens on there. And then Danny says what we're talking about, still the best defense in 9U. Longhorns lost 2 of their running backs. And then now Cody Barber says this. I got to read this 12-page paragraph that he wrote here. Not just kidding on there. Cody says, RYA 10U had a rough Saturday, but we will be there and we will be in the Super Bowl. All right, somebody screenshot that. So
Cody, quit cashing check. Quit writing checks you can't cash.
I stand on that and hope whoever we get to see out of BBGC and Lake Worth are ready, because any given Saturday, these kids will be ready and will be for the second round. I love it.
Oh, so they don't got to play either one of them to get to
Cody
the Super
may have
Bowl.
a point with the way it's sitting right now. As long as Langford doesn't lose this week, then Cody's a 4 seed. He plays Langford. He didn't got to go through those other 2.
Y'all gonna get me talking about Waxahachie Langford. Y'all get me talking about, you know what? I will tell you, I don't think Langford wants to see that RYA team. I just, and I don't think Langford's afraid to play anybody. I mean, look, they're only giving up an average of 1 point per game. That stands for something. I don't care who you line up and play against. Like I'll give them that credit on there. But you're right. I mean, that RYA Langford game, that'll be a fun game to see. And would it shock me if there's an upset? No. And to the point, RYA be in the Super Bowl, and I think RYA is in a really, really good seed. The teams that get hurt out of this are really Barrett and Cody right now. Like that, to me, those are the 2 best teams in the league. And it's unfortunate the way the schedule worked out that Langford didn't have to play either one of those teams. But you got to play your schedule you're given and go play it. And that's what he did. And they're winning. And they're 8-0, or 7-0. So you can't take that away from them as far as there. Cody says now making a little bit of sense. So Cody's feeling good about the check that he's wrote right now. He's feeling good. He's already taken the loan out on the check that he's wrote. He's feeling good. Derek says any given Saturday, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right on there.
From here on out, any given Saturday.
For sure. And so now Mike Langford says RYA won't score.
Ooh.
Oh, hey, Langford's
let me
got-
tell you.
I know some of those kids on that team. Langford's got a good team, and he's
Oh,
good
yeah.
coach.
Cody,
Yeah.
you hear that,
But-
Cody, right?
I seen here's what I'll tell you. In 10U football, I don't care who you play, holding people to no scores in 10U football, just like 12U, we're going to talk about in a second, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay. We can talk about, that their teams don't have winning records and most of them they play. That doesn't matter. You got to line up and play the team in front of you. And to me, where I will give a shout out to Coach Langford, Coach, are you listening? He's about to be shocked about it. He's like, what? I'm about to get a shout out. The reality of it is, to me, it might be harder to have your team play those games than it is to get up to play a game like a Lake Worth or the Elks because just Cash Money, it's I want to play them. I want to play those guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the reality of it is, if you got your team looking at a team that they know they're supposed to beat, they know they're supposed to win, it takes a good coach to say, hey, guys, you got to focus. You got to come out here. You got to lay the wood. You got to work, and you got to get the deal done. So shout out, not trying to take anything away from that Langford team. I just do think that when we get in the playoffs, I think they're going to have a tough matchup. But, hey, he's on record
Hey, I
that
heard it.
RYA won't score.
Another donut for you, Cody. Hold on, Cody.
Let me tell you this. If that happens in the playoff matchup in that round, I will be the absolute first to come on here and say, y'all, we got a barn burner in the Super Bowl coming right now. Like that's good. Cody Barber says 10U Langford is a great team. Obviously, hats off to them, but we like our chances of the road in the road ahead, and who can blame us? For sure. Like this, I love this. Katie says, replying to Cody, y'all said y'all beat Lake Worth 50-0 by halftime. We won 40-0. I love these parents.
I saw it on the picture in Hooters.
I love these parents. I love this, man. You parents make this league fun. All right, let's get to 12U. Granbury Rice 8-0, 0 points given up against. Kennedale Williams 7-0, 3 points given up. Burleson Hernandez 8-0, 11 points. Saginaw Barnes 6-2, 10 points given up. LYSA Johnson 5-3, 12 points. Burleson Nolan 5-2, 16 points. RYA Cates 4-3 in the 7th seed, and Waxahachie Benjamin in the 8th seed at 5-3. The interesting thing I can speak about 12U. So RYA Cates plays the Burleson Elks this week. And so literally the winner of that game will lock a playoff spot. I'd have to figure out what the league's doing with the tiebreaker, because the winner, it very well could come down to RYA Cates. If, let's say, the Elks beat RYA Cates on Saturday, RYA would be 4-4. The Elks would be 4-4, but also Ferris would be 4-4. So it could come down to a coin flip between RYA and Ferris. I don't know how the league's going to work that out. I'm glad that I am not them to have to deal with it. Other thing that could happen is Burleson Nolan has a really good game on Saturday, and Saginaw Barnes does. A Burleson Nolan team is a legit team. They can move up in the standings, right? 12U is going to be a mess to figure out on October the 30th.
Man, absolute mess. And if you want to see a pre-playoff game, come to Saginaw at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Burleson Hernandez and R12U versus Jason Barnes.
And that kind of leads us into the picks, right? Because I want to make sure we get it with 5 minutes left. So I'm going to kind of go into my picks, going back to 5U, and we'll work our way through. Burleson Cooper is playing Midlothian Garrick this week. We talked about that Garrick team being a good team.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We did. We talked about them being good and being scary and going from there. I know Cooper was on here and said, don't sleep on the Burleson Cooper team. I'm taking Burleson Cooper to win the game.
Oh, over Midlothian?
20-16.
Midlothian don't let me down.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
You hear that, Cooper? You hear that? Do you hear it?
Midlothian
He
don't
probably
let
already
me down.
jumped off because he thinks that I hate the team. But you hear that? I am taking you guys to win. Do not let me down.
Ricky, you better be on. Tell Midlothian don't let me down.
Ricky, I don't even know if he's made it on here yet. He may think it's 3 o'clock still. You never know about Ricky. 5U, I've taken Burleson Cooper to beat Eric. And if they do, they actually move up, I believe, to the 6th seed. They would flop places, which is really interesting because they would get that first round matchup with Kennedale. And so that's going to be a fun one to talk about. Going on to 6U for time. We got Red Oak Johnson versus Waxahachie Boreas. So Red Oak Johnson's the 5th seed. Boreas is the 8th seed. I like that Red Oak team. I think they're going to take care of business. I do have it a close game because playoffs on the line, but I have it 18-12 that 6U Red Oak team's gonna win. All right, moving into 7U, we've got Saginaw Baker versus Burleson Ross. This is an interesting game because Burleson Ross, if they lose this game, they go to 4-5, right? They're still in the playoffs, but it could affect where their seeding is. And then obviously that Saginaw Baker team is a good team. I think Baker takes care of business though this weekend. I think that Ross team is a good team. It's a good team to reckon with, but I think Baker wins that game 20-16.
Oh yeah, they're just turning up too. They're
Yeah.
just getting their
I
gears
don't know
going
if
right
it'll be
now.
that close.
I
Yeah.
got Baker.
You got Baker.
Yeah.
All right, we got y'all's division. So I got 2 games. First game, we have RYA versus Kennedale Bass. So that's going to be an interesting game. That's 2 versus 3. Kennedale could jump up into the 2 seed. RYA can go ahead and lock that down. I'm taking RYA in the upset.
I don't think it's.
I don't know.
I don't think it's an upset.
No?
Yeah.
But Kennedale says they're gonna
I think our
give it
way
to
would be
our
the
way.
favorite.
I don't think it's an upset.
I got RYA 20-12. I think it's close. And then the other game that we're picking that is an interesting game is you guys versus Midlow Martinet. That is a team that last week was 5-1. They went and played the Elks, and I called their game last week. And I even had some people tell me like, "Hey, we don't get beat like that." I heard some of the coaches talking. Cody, it's not an upset. Relax, man. Relax. Relax. You guys are gonna win the game. I picked you to win. See, I pick people to win, and they're like all on me. Like, what? You're killing me. Like they're all on me. So SYA versus Midlow.
30-0 by half.
Yeah. Scores
sure.
were going to be off.
I had 30-0, but by the start of the second quarter. I said this when I see Midlow's schedule come out when they had to go to the Elks and they had you guys. A rude awakening was coming, and I was right last week, and I know I'll be right this week. I believe Cash Money takes care of business.
Yeah.
I think Cody
Definitely.
is 6. Look what he said. Midlow thing in the shock. That's why.
Cody
Cody don't even believe that.
Cody, it is not 5:00 yet. My word. Goodness gracious. All right, we got 1 minute left. All right, 9U, SYA versus RYA. I'll just pick it real quick based off of the Robinson scores. I got SYA winning that game 22-12 easily. Like I don't even know it's going to be that close.
Yep.
I don't. No pressure, coach. No pressure.
Oh,
10U.
very good.
We got Granbury versus Midlow. I got Granbury winning 24-12. And I think Granbury just solidifies their seedings in there. And then we got 12U. Game that I really want to see the most is Burleson Nolan versus Kennedale Williams. I've been high on Kennedale Williams all year long, but they have struggled to score. And I've played every one of these teams in this division, all the top teams and the bottom teams in this division. That Burleson Nolan team has a little something. I think they're going to shock Kennedale this weekend.
It's going to be a good game.
I think it's going to be very close. Either way, whoever wins that game, it's going to be a close game. It's either going to be 8-0 Kennedale or 16-8 Burleson Nolan. I'm going to take Nolan in the upset because I've seen both of them play, and I think Kennedale's just kind of getting in that playoff groove right now. And I don't think you're going to get playoff Kennedale this weekend. I think you're going to get a team that they're going to be working on some stuff, and I think Nolan's playoff ready right now. I like that Nolan team a lot that I've seen. I like them a lot, and I think they're going to do some damage. And then you have the Raiders versus you guys.
It's going to be a tie.
Rematch of the Super Bowl.
It's going to be a tie.
Buy your tickets to that one. I got Raiders winning it, though, y'all.
Oh, that's
I got Raiders winning it, though, y'all. Got them winning. Y'all have a good evening.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.